Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and today we are talking about Arena Breakouts Farm Lockdown. But before we get into the topic of today's video, I'd like to briefly talk about Northridge Lockdown and spawn locations. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Northridge is a beautiful map with rolling hills and wide variety of infrastructure in its named locations. The gaps between desired locations is significantly larger than most maps and makes for a perfect sniper's playground. The fear of snipers adds to the great map design, along with the good distance spawns. This makes Northridge a newbie-friendly map, even in lockdown. As you can see in the picture I've shown up on screen, the spawns all have plenty of space apart from each other, giving players plenty of time to rotate to cover or an objective without having to fight in the first few minutes of the game. To me, this has always been more enjoyable, as on Northridge I have time to accomplish things, as where on Farm Lockdown I usually will get killed in the first few seconds of a game depending on where you spawn. And I bet we can all agree that no one wants to spend a good amount of time preparing themselves for a game and then dying a few seconds, especially the spawn by the warehouses on farm. If you spawn over there in Farm Lockdown, there will always be two spawns right next to each other, and these spawns almost always fight seconds after the game started. Most of the times you'll spawn in and be forced to throw grenades to the other side, hoping to kill the enemies. To me, this just doesn't seem enjoyable, and I bet some of y'all can agree with me on that. If you've ever been in that situation where you spawn in, and then have multiple grenades thrown over to your spawn seconds after the game started, there isn't really much time to react. You're forced straight into the action, not allowing any time for survival or gameplay. Personally, I feel like this ruins the immersion of the game because it's advertised as a tactical shooter, and it is very much so a tactical shooter. But when you're playing Lockdown on Farm, specifically because all the spawns are so close to each other, it ruins that immersion because it's supposed to be a survival PvE, PvP game. And whenever you're having to fight people immediately once you've loaded into the game, it ruins that feeling. Now, there are two other spawn locations I would like to talk about, and they are the spawns on the west side of the map behind Grain Trade. The spawn on the northwest side can immediately shoot players who spawned on the southwest side, and just kill them seconds after the game loads in. This is absolutely unacceptable, and I really wish the developers would hear me out here if they ever hear this, and fix this, because it ruins gameplay completely. This is why I think Northridge is a newbie-friendly map, because you don't have the fear of someone shoving a barrel up your ass 5 seconds after the game starts, unlike other maps. Farm port. All you can... The things combined make Northridge a great map for looting, and if you have the PvP itch, you can go to hotel or sewage plant. Now, I want to let y'all know that everything I've said, and everything that I will continue to say about Farm Lockdown and Farm in general, is no hate, at all. I love Farm. Farm is my favorite map. That's the place I spend most of my time. And if you've seen my other videos, you would notice almost all my gameplays take place in Farm. I'm going to go over some more topics of why I think Farm Lockdown sucks. Now, I don't actually think Farm Lockdown sucks, but I do think there are some things that suck about Farm Lockdown. Now, I've already mentioned the spawns and how they aren't very balanced, but what I'd also like to mention is that Farm Lockdown specifically has the most sweaty people on the planet. I've seen full squads of people with TI mods running around on farm, and it's crazy. Now, the developers themselves cannot fix this directly, but they can indirectly by lowering the spawns, which then lowers the chance you run into said players. If they did lower the spawns, like I've talked about in the beginning of this video. Now, if they did lower the player spawns in Farm Lockdown, I bet there would be some controversy because I'm sure there are some people who love fighting 5 seconds into the match. But in my humble opinion, I think it will hurt the casual player base if it stays like this. But hey, who cares what I have to say? I'm just a small-time content creator, but hey, if you want to change that, subscribe, like, and punch the notification bell. Anywho, that's going to be it for me today, and if you want to finish watching this video, I got some great gameplay for you. Don't forget to comment, I'd really appreciate it. Y'all have a blessed day.